I think we'll break the habit of a lifetime and do things the other way around, and I'm going to ask you about the squad first. Anything to report on the squad front? I guess team selection will be a bit of a head scratcher after the result last weekend.
1 or 2 knocks. Josh Woods got a bad blow to his foot on Saturday. Jay still just getting over that niggle with his knee, and there's been a little bit of sickness amongst the squad, so we'll have to just assess it today and tomorrow.
I suppose when you've got players who are touch and go, you maybe don't make decisions on your team selection until a little bit later because you're waiting to see what the situation is. Do you have a team in your mind on the way back from Portsmouth to start against Charlton, or do you need some time on the training pitch and the passage of time before you make any firm decisions?
Not so much important, but sometimes, yeah, you know, straight after the game you're thinking, well, I'll probably go with this next time, and you stick to that in your first gut feeling. But at times you have to assess what you've got, and you've got to see what they're looking like in training. And you know, you've got to be careful that you just don't beat yourself up and beat the players up and wallow in, oh, you know, whoa, we're not playing well, and you're making that mistake and showing them and highlighting it and getting on the back. You know, players don't go out to perform badly. Unfortunately, it happens. It happens at every level, not just our level. And obviously the better players don't play badly as regular. And to be fair, most of our lads haven't this season. I think we've put ourselves quite well this season. But it's noticeable when we have a drop off, when probably everybody drops off in the same time. And I think we had that against Portsmouth. And then, you know, the sending off probably galvanised them a little bit, made it more difficult for us because they sat behind the ball, and you then become wasteful. And you know, you can talk about stats till the cows come home, but then the main stats are balls in the net and balls out the net in your defence. So that's something that we just got to try and work on and get right.
I know you've spoken this season about kind of adjusting the way you deal with things and putting things behind you and not letting them stay with you. How do you get the players to do that? Or sometimes do you want the players to feel the sort of pain of losing?
Well, you don't get to the stage where you ignore it completely. You know, from a personal level in your own life, balance, you know, as long as you have to put that to one side. But the players have got to feel the pain like I feel the pain, and they've got to realise that what they're doing impacts the game, impacts, you know, people's lives, people, you know, the fans as well, people who travel, pay their hard-earned money, give up their time, and they've got to realise that there's consequences, and you know them consequences vary. It might be you're not on the team, it might be that, you know, you have to do something better to warrant a place, or you might get a reaction. But we won't push it under the carpet. You know, we've already been through it a little bit, and you know, we'll go through it over the next 2 days, but with a positive spin, trying to accentuate what we can do better and what we have done well in the past.
You mentioned the supporters there, specifically the ones that travelled to Portsmouth and have been to these away games this season. I know that in this very room, a lot of the players and yourself were here meeting the supporters at an event this week. How much does that help? How much does that help sort of grow a connection between the people who are paying their money and the guys who are going out there to represent them?
I think it's good. I think that the good thing about this club is that, you know, it's not just one-off occasions. You know, the interaction with the fans has been going on since I first came through the door, which is when there was 200 or 300 coming in. So, you know, that's been good, and I think that's what makes us a little bit unique. Can you be a little bit unique? I don't think you can you? Either unique or you're not.
I think unique in its very nature means like one-off, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's history. English lessons for free. So yeah, I think that does make us unique. That the players can interact with the fans and the fans get the opportunity. But the best way of getting fans on side is by winning games and playing well on the pitch, and that's what we've got to do.
I know you used to say, particularly back in the conference days, that if fans were dissatisfied with the performance or whatever, just come and have a word with you in the bar afterwards. Does that still happen?
Yeah, I don't mind that. You know, people have got their own opinions. They pay the money. I've got my own opinions when I go and watch Liverpool. So, you know, as a fan, you know, you'd always want your team to do better. But people don't go out onto the pitch to deliberately upset people or to deliberately play badly and to deliberately let the fans down. You know, sometimes it happens. And, you know, we've got to quickly get away from that becoming the norm. Now, at home we've been quite good. We've got to try and keep that going, and there's no guarantee that you keep it going.
Inevitable home form question. Can you put your finger on why?
No, I wouldn't be the only manager who's been in this situation. You just got to keep working through it, keep playing well. Hopefully, like, you get a little bit of luck along the way, and the ball goes in the net at the right time. You know, I was just in the car with John Coleman, and then he was going through the stats of the shots we've had in the last 8 games and the shots Charlton's have had. And we had a high percentage of them shots on target. You just got to convert them shots on target now into goals. So I think we've had more or less a third of our shots have gone on target, but only probably a fifth resulted in a goal. I think we probably want a better return on that.
How do you improve that, or is it just fortune?
A lot of it's fortune, but a lot of it's hard work and practice and getting into the right areas and making chances that are good chances, golden chances, you know, gilt-edged chances. And when you start doing that, you start scoring more goals.
We talk often about clean sheets, for example, and I'm sure you'd welcome one of those. Being the responsibility of the whole team, not just the goalkeeper or the defenders. Is it the same for scoring goals?
Of course it is. You know, and I think we've seen that with Ross. You know, Ross probably scored 3 out of our last 5 goals, I think, last 6 goals. So not just chipped in. And you'd like, you know, you've got to share them all over the park. You know me over the years. I like the strikers goal. I'd love to see Josh Wood's go after them. You know, Coley scored a good goal in midweek, and you know, I had a good chat with him on Tuesday about, you know, the responsibilities and the duties he's got, and as a centre forward, what the currency is, which is goals.
On the clean sheets, you've not kept one of those in a little while. You did have a home win to 0 against Oxford a little while ago. I'm sure you're not quite back to the position you were towards the tail end of last year, where you're just thinking about the goals you conceded and just try and keep a clean sheet at all costs. But is that something that's creeping back in? Is there a level of concern that you can concede 4 at Portsmouth, for example?
Oh, well, there is a level of concern that you conceding 4 against Portsmouth, especially against 10 men for 3 of them. So yeah, you would be concerned. A lot of them was individual errors, and we had that little spell, September to October, where it was a regular occurrence, an individual error, and we've got to line them out, and that's the duty of the whole team and the staff to try and eliminate them. But you know, if we want to win games, we've got to score goals, and I think the thing that's hampered us most in the last 5 or 6 weeks is not taking the chances that we've created.
As far as Charlton are concerned, I think that half a dozen games without a win. I don't think they've scored in the last 3 or 4 games. Does that make it a good time to play them, or does that make your alarm bell go off that their run has to come to an end sometime?
I'll never get carried away with anything like that. You know, there's not a good time or a bad time to play anyone, I don't think. You have to play them twice throughout the season, and you know, they'd possibly be looking for a bit of revenge from the reverse fixture at their place. But they have no burden on the games. So the game is about 11v11, 90 minutes on 97, 98 minutes on Saturday. And, you know, trying to eliminate the mistakes, trying to get your brand of football played, trying to play the ball in, or the game in the other team's half. You know, football by nature being an invasion game, invading their territory more, and trying to get the goals that win the game.
And obviously you did win down there. Is that an extra little incentive to do the double over a team?
No incentive to me. It's just want to win a game. Every game we go to play, I believe we can win at this level, and we go out putting a team out to try and win. You know, I'd never go and try and get a draw or try and sit in and get a 0-0 or try and protect that clean sheet like it's gold dust. No, that's never going to be the way I operate, or we operate here as staff. We're going to go and try and win the game, and you know, we'll pick a team accordingly.